Tonight we're going to do a recipe from the book Plant You by Carly Boswick. The one we're going to be doing is on page 96 and 97, the chickpea noodle soup. It's just a whole combination of some really good things, including the garlic, the onions, celery, carrots, vegetable broth, the fusilli, which is going to be the pasta, chickpeas or other beans. We're going to use probably a combination of a couple, turmeric, thyme, spinach, and we may use some other things for seasoning. We'll see how it is as we go along. What we've done ahead of time is just prep all the veggies. I'll show you that. So they're all ready. The onion, celery, carrots. These are chopped mushrooms on the side here. My dad's getting the broccoli ready. We'll put that in towards the end. There's the garlic, minced garlic. Smells wonderful. We actually had two different types of onions, so we had half of one of each of these, so white and yellow onions. And we're going to start by putting the onions and garlic in the pan to get started. Just going to use a little bit of olive oil, which will be wonderful in this. We're doing things that add a little bit of calories to it. This is a fairly light calorie-wise soup, and so it won't hurt to have a little bit of extra oil in it. And she's gonna just soften the onions and garlic first, maybe even the mushrooms. We'll get those going after the onions and garlic. And then we will start adding some of the broth and other things to simmer along with our spices. Okay. Plant-based soup or plant-based dish in general is going to be far less calories than what is normally in that if you're adding the animal fat. So you have to intentionally sometimes add a little extra calories if you need it. If you don't need it, then you just go with it just the way it is. Normally when I'm making a soup at home, I don't necessarily, I might soften the onion and mushrooms ahead of time and the garlic, but I don't necessarily add oil unless I do need a little more calories that day. And if I did add an oil, generally it's going to be olive oil. That's a nice oil, anti-inflammatory. I just probably wouldn't cook it at really high heat with that. You can destroy the benefit of the oil if you're using it at high heat. When you're choosing an olive oil that is cold speller pressed is going to be one of your safer oils to choose. I guess a lot of olive oils are mixed with other things these days, but if you can buy just a nice cold expeller pressed olive oil, that would be a very good one to have. It has a lot of anti-inflammatory qualities to it, especially good when you're using it on salads. Helps you absorb different nutrients just to have a little bit of oil in whatever it is you're eating and stuff.
I think I'll go ahead.
She's going to go ahead and add the garlic. We add the garlic a little bit later because it cooks very fast. So it doesn't need a lot of softening at the beginning, but good to have it in with the onions. So the soup doesn't call for mushrooms. That's not part of the recipe. It would be delicious in this vegetable-based soup, and it will add a tremendous amount of nutrition. We're going to put the broth in. I imagine that's only about half full, so we'll use whatever's in there. Smelling so good. Mushrooms are very much like nuts. You want to have a variety of different mushrooms or nuts in your diet in general because they all have similar but slightly different benefits. So mushrooms are like that. The more variety of mushrooms you can get into your day, the better. We have a powdered mushroom mixture that we put in the smoothie that we showed in our other video. But for this one, we're just going to use ordinary baby portobello mushrooms. That's what those were. And they're kind of chopped. We're gonna get that to warm. Simmer that a minute or two. And then we will be adding the celery and carrots and the beans and seasonings. We'll put the pasta in last. I'll show you the pasta that we're using. It's a really nice one. I haven't seen this before. It's a New York spaghini pasta. Organic, North American grains. It is a whole grain reganetti. Do you have another vegetable broth, Mom?
I don't.
On hand?
I look for it.
Okay, so let's add the rest of the water. And I mentioned this to my mom earlier, is that sometimes I don't have vegetable broth. And Megan had mentioned to me that if we just use water and then we just put all the seasonings of vegetable broth in the soup, that we can come out with an equal or better broth overall. So we're going to add the rest of our broth in water, and we're going to add a little bit of the savory spice blend recipe from nutrition.org website. And we're going to probably add some salt, since really vegetable broth or any kind of broth, the main ingredient is going to be water and then salt. So that's, how many cups was in this measuring cup?
3.
3 more. So I estimate we have 5 so far. We need 8. How about 3 more then?
Okay.
Because we had that little bit of broth left over that we used. So now we have enough water to equal the amount of vegetable broth we needed, and we're just going to make sure that we add enough seasoning to bring out some flavor in it. I would put at least a tablespoon of that savory spice blend in it.
All right.
At least a tablespoon. It doesn't even, you don't have to measure it, Mom.
All right. Okay.
I think we'll be fine, because if there's not enough, we're going to put more in. I mean, a giant tablespoon in. Let's just, okay. Yep. Let's dump that in there. Let's mix it up. You want to put a little more?
Okay.
Sure. It's not super strong for taste, but man, it's loaded with antioxidants and anti-inflammatory things that we want in our soup. This is going to be such a great soup.
Do you know what's in this?
Savory spice blend. I don't know right off the top of my head. I can name a few things that are in it. I know it has turmeric and celery seed and cayenne and paprika and pepper, and it does not have salt though. So you will need some salt. I have people, when they're using salt, to try to use iodized salt, since every time you eat cruciferous vegetables, you need to give yourself a little bit of iodine boost, because those cruciferous vegetables take the iodine out of your body.
How much do we want?
They kind of compete with iodine in your body. Let's start with that. I think that's a good amount. So I would estimate what she just put in was about a teaspoon. We'll just be checking taste as we go along here. So, in fact, you can probably taste it at any time, Mom.
Okay.
And then we're going to just go ahead and add the rest of our veggies, beans. So we actually are going to need 2 cans of beans. All right.
This is celery.
Mm-hmm. This recipe actually called for quite a bit of celery, but celery is great for you, so. I think a lot of the nutrients in vegetables, we often don't have any idea what they're doing, because there's so many different types of nutrients that you find in vegetables. And I think, you know, our research only goes just so far in knowing what they all do.
How much pasta?
Let's just put the whole package in.
All right.
I mean, the half a package. Great. Let's stir that in. Okay, we're ready for the beans. Beans don't really have to cook, they just have to warm through. And then we're going to use a little bit of a green that was left in our fridge that we need to use up, and it's a little bit of broccoli. So we chopped the broccoli. We're going to put it in towards the end, just enough time for it to get a nice bright green color. So it'll take probably 3 minutes or so for it to warm up in the soup and bring out its beautiful green color. These are just called pink beans. I don't know really what pink beans are. Let me read the label and see if it says. Rosados, pink beans. It's got to be a different variety. I'm trying to read the ingredients list. Oh, organic pink beans. Okay, wow. Organic pink beans. It's going to be pretty in our soup. That's nice. And then we're going to probably put one other kind of bean in here. Well, this is feeling like a very nice, robust soup.
How about pinto beans?
Oh yeah, pinto are great, Mom.
Okay.
Pinto will be great in this. All beans are really good. We use a lot of chickpeas here, garbanzo beans, because those are really good for cancer-fighting agents. But just in general, all beans have some of those same components in them. So same nutrients, just a different arrangement of them. And again, just like I said, a variety of nuts, a variety of mushrooms. Same with beans. A variety of beans is what I want to see for people. Let me just pour that in. Broccoli is the last thing that we'll add here. I'm going to need to taste it and see. Can I just have a spoon over there, Mom? Oh, thank you. And make sure it's quite good. Okay, so we're going to let it boil, and then we're going to cook it until it's about 3 minutes away from done on the pasta. And that's probably when we're going to put the broccoli in. I'm putting a teaspoon of turmeric. This is a half a teaspoon spoon. So I'm putting a teaspoon of turmeric, teaspoon of thyme. Whenever you use turmeric in a recipe, you want to make sure that you also use pepper, because it helps you absorb the turmeric. Turmeric is not easily absorbed in the body, and so in order to get the most benefit from it, you really want to add a little bit of pepper, which I just did. It's going to be a really hearty soup. It didn't appear that way to me in the recipe in the book, but it is. It's a nice hearty soup. You can serve this with like a toasted Ezekiel muffin or toasted Ezekiel bread, or I think they make pitas now. Or you can serve it with a light salad. We're not having a salad with it this evening, partly because there's a lot of veggies in here, and partly because everybody has had a lot of greens already today, so we really don't need that. We're probably going to have some seed crackers with ours. That's a nice way to serve this soup. And maybe a few fresh berries on the side. I just tossed the broccoli in because I tested the pasta and it's very close. I bet another 3 minutes will do it. Wow, is that a pretty soup? Soups just have a way of getting better each day. So like tomorrow, this soup will even be better than the way it is today. In the recipe, it adds spinach at the end there instead of broccoli, but broccoli will be perfect. It's just got a nice creamy texture to it. Yeah. I'm going to dish it up here in a bowl and just show you how that looks. I'm going to turn it off. Our broccoli is bright green and beautiful.
It is beautiful.
A very, very nice soup. Okay. You can tell him we're ready. I'm just going to say, if this has been helpful for you, share it with a friend. If you don't have someone to share it with, like it so YouTube can share it with someone who needs it. And if you haven't already, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you, everybody.